big topic of discussion right now, of course, is the big cold front that is coming through. But we have rain right now, and that is worth talking about. You can see behind me here rain moving through all the way from Bosque County over to Hill and Navarro. Not much happening in Johnson County right now, from Cleburne over to Venus. A little bit of rain maybe in the Grandview area, but for the most part, we've been dry as far as Johnson County is concerned. Ellis County's been mostly dry. We've had some rain from Italy over to Ennis, right there along 34, but now it's starting to creep a little further north, so Waxahachie, Palmer, maybe even as far north as Ferris, getting a little bit of light rain this morning. Most of this will be light. You can see a little bit to the east. There's some maybe more steady rain, but for the most part, we will be looking at lighter rain throughout the day. It'll be on and off. I don't think we're going to have constant downpours. Now, I will say that Hillsborough and Corsicana, these areas, Hubbard and Dawson there, Blooming Grove, it's been pretty steady probably through most of the day. And we'll see it taper off this afternoon and evening. So for the morning hours, it's kind of just going to continue to be stuff like this. But as the day goes on, we will see that minimize a little bit. Our daytime highs today, we're right around kind of where we were yesterday, right around 50 degrees. And overnight tonight, we're looking at lows around 40. And I will say that we will be cooler in our southern counties. A lot of the times I tick those upward a little bit because they're getting more of that Gulf heat. But today, more rain-cooled air, so I think you'll cool off quicker once the sun goes down, and you'll stay cooler this afternoon. Here's the regional look, and you can see how much rain is covering parts of Texas, from San Antonio over to Houston, all the way to Austin, Waco, Tyler, here to our area. So all of this being fed by a disturbance down in South Texas, and that's going to just hang around today. So as that continues to move off to the east, eventually we will see that taper off this evening. So here is the model estimation of what we're looking at as far as timing. We will see probably this continuing for the most part like we have seen it. I think it may be further north than this. The 10 a.m. Outlook right now, I think maybe estimating this a little further south. Obviously, the biggest concentration of rain will be south of Ellis County, but I think that we'll still see some rain, at least in the southern half of Ellis County through 10 a.m. 2 p.m. today, that continues to move off to the east and could push a little further north. This is a system that is generally moving to the northeast, so could see more steady rain in maybe the Ennis and Italy areas, as I talked about earlier. More steady rain moving through there, and then as we get to 6 o'clock this evening, looks like most of that is pushed off to the east and should be out of here. And then tomorrow looks cloudy, so we may see a little bit of sun or a little bit of clearer skies, not really clearer skies, but maybe see a few breaks today, later in the day. Doubtful, though, tomorrow just looks cloudy. So let's talk about this front. And one of the things that I was talking about a lot yesterday was model consensus and trying to see what the consensus was going to be as we got closer. Well, we have a consensus right now between the GFS model and the Euro. This is noon Thursday, so this is pretty much showing the front having moved through our area right around noon, so around 11 a.m. noon time. And as we go to the Euro, it's pretty much almost identical at this point. Does that mean that they're going to stay consistent through Thursday? Not necessarily. Does that mean they're not going to change? Absolutely not. I do think we'll still see changes, and I understand that these models don't always do well with these northern plunges of cool air, so could very well be earlier than this, but we'll continue to watch this. But for right now, it is interesting that we have a lot of consensus. What I talked about before that didn't have much consensus or certainty was precipitation. At this point, it looks like there could be a thin line of showers ahead of the front. Could be. It's still not certain by any stretch of the imagination. Still pretty uncertain. But if we do get that thin line of showers, depending on how much rain falls, that could contribute to some travel impacts. It's going to get cold very quickly, so it won't take any time at all for it to get very, very cold. And so whatever does fall rain-wise will likely freeze. But one more time, it's not a certainty by any stretch of the imagination at this point. Let's talk about the 5 Ps: people, plants, pets, pools, and pipes. People, you want to make sure that people that may be vulnerable to the extreme cold, whether it's in a home that's not very well insulated, or maybe they don't have a home at all. Plants, you want to make sure those are covered. Pets, you want to make sure they are either brought inside or given some kind of shelter or way to get warm. Pools, you want to make sure you follow your protocols there. And pipes, make sure those outdoor exposed pipes are wrapped, protected, those outdoor spigots, that kind of thing. And inside, it won't hurt to drip those faucets as well. Let's talk about the forecast overall. Today, 50% chance of showers, and I do think it stays rain. I don't think we have any thunderstorms today. Low 50s overnight tonight. We're right around 40. Tomorrow we won't warm up very much. Tuesday, it's going to be pretty cloudy. I think mostly cloudy there. North winds of 5 to 10 miles per hour with a front moving through. We could see some sun, but probably not much. We stay cool in the low 40s, and then we don't cool down much because whatever daytime heating we will get on Tuesday, we will hang on to with overcast skies. Wednesday, we warm up a little bit with southerly winds returning ahead of that front with the highs in the upper 40s. And then Thursday, here we go. The big front comes in, and again, our high temperature will really be determined by what time that front comes through. Right now, it looks like 11 o'clock noonish, so not very warm, not much warmer than we really could probably go with low 40s here. But again, it will all depend on what time that front arrives, because once the front gets here, we drop, and we drop fast. Look at that overnight low. Overnight, we will likely be in the single digits, and you see written here, overnight wind chills below 0 expected. So that's Thursday. Again, 10% chance of some kind of precipitation. Could be most likely a band of rain ahead of the front. Could be a little bit of sleet if that's able to fall behind the front there. And then Friday is our really coldest day. Friday, we're looking at highs in the mid-20s. We're not going to get above freezing. We're going to stay freezing there. Friday night, we dip back down into the mid-teens. Saturday, we could get above freezing shortly. It won't last long for those who do get above freezing. Most of us probably won't. We dip down Saturday night, Christmas Eve night, into the upper teens. And then Sunday, Christmas Day, we finally get above freezing. It will be warmer that day with a south wind returning, sunny skies. So Christmas Day actually looks pretty decent. And any kind of travel impacts we might have had before with any of the liquid on the ground will be melting that day. So we're hoping and praying we don't have any kind of travel impacts on Thursday. That 10% chance is very, very conditional. So don't put any kind of stock in that yet. There's still a lot of time for that to change, and I will continue to bring you updates as the forecast becomes more refined and more clear.